Have you ever watched someone in their 80s do something that just made your jaw drop? Like, really think about it. You're walking through the park, and you see an elderly man, maybe 82, 83, briskly walking uphill, arms swinging, breathing steady. Or maybe it's a woman in her late 80s, out in her garden, squatting down with no help, digging in the soil, completely in her element. No walker. No assistant. Just her and nature. Moving like someone 20 years younger. And in that moment, you can't help but ask yourself, how is that even possible? You might smile and think, oh, they must have good genes. Or maybe you say, they've just been lucky. But deep down, you wonder, is there more to it than that? Because if you've ever seen the other side, watched a loved one struggle to get out of a chair, forget familiar faces, or lose interest in things they once loved, you know how quickly aging can take its toll. And it hurts. It's scary. It makes you feel helpless sometimes. But what if I told you? There are certain signs, abilities, really, that when preserved past 80, might not just mean someone is healthy. They might actually be aging in reverse. Yes, reverse. I'm not talking about wrinkle creams or miracle pills. I'm talking about real, physical and mental abilities that most people lose as they age, but a few rare individuals keep. And those few? They seem to defy time. So, here's the question that really matters, do you still have them? Because if you do, even just one or two, it could mean something extraordinary is happening inside your body, something worth noticing, worth protecting, worth building on. And if you don't, that's okay too. Because once you know what they are, you can start working on them, gently, safely, and with wisdom. In this video, we're diving into 5 powerful abilities that most 80-year-olds have lost. But if you can still do them, or know someone who can, it's a sign that your body, and maybe even your brain, is still firing in remarkable ways. And I'll tell you now, number 4. It's the one no one talks about, but it reveals so much about the state of your mind and spirit. So, stick around. Watch closely. Because what you're about to learn could help you not just add years to your life, but add life to your years. And hey, if you're watching this and you care about growing older with strength, peace, and purpose, or maybe you're here for someone you love, take a second and comment below, I'm aging strong. Let's remind each other, we are not alone in this journey. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for more wisdom from this channel, Elderly Wisdom Guide, where we talk about how to care for ourselves and our loved ones, through every season of life. Alright, ready to see if you're aging in reverse? Let's get into it. Let's start with the first ability. It's simple. It's something most people don't think twice about. But it's also one of the clearest signs of how well your body, and your brain, are holding up with age. Here it is. Can you stand on one leg for 10 seconds without holding onto anything? Now wait, before you try it, let me tell you a story. There was this study done, not too long ago. Researchers gathered a group of older adults, people in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They asked each person to do one thing. Lift one foot off the ground, balance on the other, and hold it, for just 10 seconds. Sounds easy, right? But here's what happened. Nearly 1 in 5 people over 60 couldn't do it. By the time they reached 80, more than half failed. Some wobbled right away. Some couldn't lift their foot without swaying. Others toppled within 3 seconds. And then, there was her. 84 years old. Silver hair tucked under a sun hat. Barefoot in her backyard, surrounded by herbs and tomato plants. She lifted one leg, held it, and smiled. 10 seconds. Steady as a rock. She didn't need help. She didn't need to think twice. She just stood there. And in that moment, the researchers weren't just seeing a woman balancing, they were looking at a window into her nervous system, her muscular strength, her brain coordination. They were seeing something rare. Something valuable. You see, balance isn't just about muscle. It's about communication between your brain, your eyes, your inner ear, and your joints. The cerebellum, the part of your brain responsible for balance and coordination, shrinks with age. Your inner ear, which controls your sense of position in space, becomes less sensitive. Your leg muscles lose strength. And the nerves that send signals to your brain? They slow down too. So, when someone past 80 can still balance like that, without help, without shaking, it means a lot more than just good posture. It means their systems are still talking to each other. It means their brain is still firing in a way that many lose as they age. But here's the part that's even more important to understand: losing your balance isn't just inconvenient. It's dangerous. Falls are the #1 cause of injury in older adults. And yet, we often treat them like a natural part of aging. People say, "Oh, she's just getting older. Of course she fell." No. Falling is not inevitable. It's a sign, a signal that something's weakening. Something you might still have time to protect. And that's where the misconception lies. We assume we're helpless when it comes to balance. But the truth is, balance is like a muscle. It can be trained. It can improve. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need a gym. All you need is a chair, a little space, and 1 minute a day. Every morning, when you're brushing your teeth or waiting for the kettle to boil. Stand near a counter or the back of a chair. Lift one leg. Just a few inches. Hold. Breathe. Switch sides. It might be 5 seconds at first. That's okay. That's a start. What matters is that you're waking up the parts of your body that keep you steady. You're reminding your brain, hey, I still need this. And over time, with consistency, you just might surprise yourself. You might walk more confidently. Climb stairs more safely. Catch yourself before a fall. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll be that person in the garden, barefoot and smiling. But balance is just the beginning. Because even if you're standing tall, there's another ability that slips away quietly, until one day, you realize your body can't keep up with the world around you. Now let's talk about the second ability, one that slips away more quietly than balance, but often with more serious consequences. It's your reaction time. And here's the question: can you respond quickly when something unexpected happens? Picture this. You're in the kitchen. You reach up to grab a mug from the shelf, and, whoops, it slips. That brief moment, that tiny window of time. Your hand flashes out instinctively to catch it before it shatters. You might not always succeed, but your body tries. Or, imagine walking down the steps. Your foot hits an uneven edge. You stumble. But somehow, your other foot darts forward, just in time to stop the fall. That's your reaction time at work. And for most people past 80, it's not what it used to be. There was a study where seniors were asked to respond to a simple light stimulus, tap a button as soon as they saw a flash. And the results? The average response time for someone in their 80s was nearly twice as slow as that of someone in their 30s or 40s. Why does that happen? Because as we age, our nervous system naturally slows down. Think of your body as a network of electrical wires. Your brain sends out a message, and your muscles receive it. But over time, those wires, your nerves, don't conduct signals as quickly. The protective coating around them thins. The connection between your brain and your limbs, it weakens. And that means when something happens, a trip, a slip, a sudden change, your body just doesn't react in time. And here's the scary part: people think moving slower is harmless. But when your reaction time fades, you're more likely to fall. More likely to get injured while driving. More likely to misstep and end up in the hospital, not because you're weak, but because you didn't react fast enough. It's not about clumsiness. It's about a slowed internal warning system. But here's the good news, just like balance, you can train your reaction time. And no, it doesn't require high-tech gadgets or exhausting workouts. Start small. Toss a tennis ball at the wall and catch it with one hand, then the other. Have a friend hold two different colored cards and call out which one to touch. Use reaction light apps on your phone or tablet. They're simple, fun, and designed to keep your brain alert. Even things like dancing, yes, dancing, can improve reflexes, because your body is constantly adapting to rhythm and motion. The goal isn't perfection. It's practice. It's about keeping that brain-to-body connection awake. So when something sudden happens, you don't freeze. You respond. You stay safe. You stay independent. And you stay in control of your body. Now, balance and reaction time go hand in hand. But the next ability, it's the one where most people first begin to notice decline. It's the kind of strength that doesn't just help you move, it helps you live. Let's move to ability number 3. It's a simple act, something most people do without thinking when they're younger. But for many seniors, it becomes a quiet source of embarrassment, and eventually, a barrier to independence. Can you stand up from the floor, without using your hands? Let that sink in for a second. Not a trick question. Not a fitness challenge. Just a measure of how well your body still works together, legs, core, joints, and balance, all at once. There's a story that comes to mind. A 79-year-old yoga teacher, yes, 79, was finishing a gentle class with her students. At the end, she sat cross-legged on her mat, eyes closed, peaceful as ever. When class ended, she opened her eyes, leaned forward slightly, and stood straight up from the floor, no hands, no push, no help. Just pure strength and control. Her students? They were stunned. Not because she showed off, but because she didn't even think twice. Meanwhile, most of her peers, many younger than her, need help just to kneel. Or they avoid the floor entirely. Not because they don't want to, but because they're afraid they won't be able to get back up. Here's why this matters so much, that one movement. Getting up from the floor requires a combination of key physical abilities. You need strong leg muscles to push your body up. You need core stability to stay upright and balanced as you rise. You need flexible hips and knees that don't scream in pain or lock up. And most importantly, you need the confidence that you can do it. As we age, each of those pieces starts to fade, if we let them. Leg strength diminishes if you don't use it. Core muscles weaken when we sit too much. Joint mobility stiffens if we stop stretching or bending. And before we know it, that simple act, getting up off the floor, becomes impossible. And here's the dangerous part, once people lose that ability, they often assume it's gone for good. They start relying on others for small things. They avoid sitting on low furniture, playing with grandkids, gardening, because, what if I can't get up? But the truth is, it's not always permanent. You can rebuild those muscles. You can regain that flexibility. You just need the right approach, and the willingness to start. So how do you get there? Start with chair squats. Stand in front of a sturdy chair. Sit down slowly. Stand up. Repeat, gently, at your own pace. This strengthens the thighs and glutes, your primary power muscles for rising. Then, try floor mobility drills. Sit on the floor and just practice shifting positions. Roll to your side. Transition to your hands and knees. Slowly rise. Even if you need a pillow or a wall nearby for support, it's okay. It's not about perfection, it's about keeping the body familiar with the movement. Because every time you practice, you remind your body, this is something we still do. And here's the most beautiful part, many seniors regain this ability after years of thinking they never would. So, the next time you find yourself avoiding the floor, ask, am I giving up, or am I just out of practice? Mobility is freedom. It's the difference between watching life from the sidelines, and staying active in the moments that matter most. But physical movement isn't the only thing that makes you feel young. There's another ability, one that you can't see in a mirror, but you'll definitely feel it. What if we told you, your memory might be showing signs of aging in reverse? Let's move to the fourth ability. And this one, it catches people by surprise. Because it doesn't test how strong your body is. It tests how sharp your mind still is. Here's the challenge. Can you remember 3 to 5 random words, after a delay? Try it right now. Apple. River. Candle. Now keep listening, we'll come back to that. This kind of memory test is used by doctors and neurologists around the world. Not to intimidate anyone, but to quietly check how well the brain holds on to short-term information, without notes, without reminders, without Google. And for many people past 80, it's tougher than it sounds. There's a moment that always stands out. A woman, 84 years old, sitting in a small clinic room. The doctor gently asks her to remember a few words. They chat about her day, her grandchildren, the flowers outside. Then, 5 minutes later, the doctor asks, do you remember the words I gave you earlier? She pauses. Smiles. Apple. River. Candle. Perfect. No hesitation. Now, compare that to others her age. Some can't recall a single word. Not because they're not intelligent. Not because they're not trying. But because something in their brain isn't firing the way it used to. And here's what most people get wrong about this. Forgetfulness has become so common, we shrug it off as just aging. We say things like, oh, my memory isn't what it used to be, and laugh it away. But truthfully, memory decline isn't inevitable. Yes, our brains age. But they also have something powerful built in, plasticity. That means your brain is always capable of change. Forming new connections, rewiring, adapting. Even in your 70s, 80s, and beyond. But just like muscles, if you don't use your brain, you start to lose its strength. When we stop learning, when our days become routine, when we don't challenge our minds, those neural pathways grow quiet. And like a path in the forest that's no longer walked, it fades. But when you keep your brain active, when you stimulate it daily with intentional activity, it stays sharp. It remembers. Reading new books. Working on puzzles or crosswords. Having real conversations, not just texting, but talking. Recalling names from your past. Or even doing something as simple as this, describing your day backwards before bed. It might sound silly. But it trains your brain to hold on to sequences, events, and small details. And don't forget memory games. You can even create your own version of the word recall test. Pick 5 random words in the morning. Repeat them at dinner. Write them down before bed. Watch how your recall improves, day by day. And if it doesn't? That's okay, too. Because what matters is that you're trying. You're keeping the brain engaged. You're refusing to give in to the myth that memory loss is just part of the deal. Because when you can hold on to a thought, when your memories stay intact, so does your identity. Your stories. Your connection to the people you love. And that, more than anything, is what keeps the spirit alive. Now, the fifth and final ability isn't about how you move. Or how you think. It's about something deeper. Something that connects your body, your heart, and your will to keep going. Let's talk about ability number 5, the one that most 80-year-olds struggle with. But if you still have it, it says something powerful about your soul. It's not something you can measure with a stopwatch or test with a machine. It doesn't require strength, or balance, or even memory. But when it's there, it changes everything. Waking up energized and motivated. Ever met an 85-year-old who wakes up at dawn, no alarm clock, no groaning, just, ready? They make their own breakfast. They open the curtains to let in the morning light. By 9 a.m., they're already painting, walking, or calling someone just to say hello. It's rare. But it's real. And it says more about a person's spirit than any physical test ever could. Most people don't think about this as an ability. But motivation, especially later in life, is one of the clearest signs of someone who's not just surviving, but truly thriving. Let's talk about why. As we age, something happens inside the body that people often don't expect. Your sleep cycle changes. Your melatonin production shifts. You might start waking up at 3 or 4 a.m., feeling tired during the day, and restless at night. And when you add in aches, medications, or even loneliness, mornings become hard. Not just physically. Emotionally. Many seniors wake up and don't feel like doing anything. Not because they're lazy. Not because they don't care. But because inside, the spark is dimmed. And here's the misconception: we think that low energy in older adults is normal. That fatigue is just part of growing older. But very often, it's not physical at all. It's emotional. It's what happens when a person feels like they have nothing to look forward to. No purpose. No excitement for the day ahead. That kind of fatigue, it doesn't go away with naps. It needs connection. Stimulation. Joy. And here's where the hopeful part comes in, that motivation. That morning energy. It can come back. It just takes intention. One of the simplest, most powerful things you can do is get outside early in the morning. Let the sunlight hit your skin. It resets your internal clock, your circadian rhythm, and tells your body, it's a new day. Let's go. Pair that with a steady routine. Wake up around the same time. Eat something light but nourishing. Move your body, even if it's just stretching or walking to the mailbox. But the real secret? Plan one small joyful activity each day. Not a chore. Not a doctor's appointment. Something that feels good. Listening to music. Watering the plants. Calling an old friend. Trying a new recipe. Writing down 3 memories from your childhood. These things seem tiny, but they rebuild a rhythm. They remind your brain, and your heart, that life is still rich with meaning. Because waking up with purpose is what fuels energy. And energy is what keeps you curious, moving, connected, and alive. And if you still feel that fire to try, to start your day with something that matters, even at 70, 80, or 90. That's not just resilience. That's youth, hidden inside experience. And when all 5 of these abilities are still with you, you're not just aging well. You're doing something remarkable. You're aging in reverse. Now, let's take a moment and talk about what this really means. Because it's more than just physical skill. It's a statement about who you are, and how you're choosing to live this chapter of your life. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy watching someone you love begin to slow down. To see them hesitate before getting out of a chair. To notice their voice change, quieter, unsure. To find them forgetting little things, or losing the motivation to even get dressed some mornings. And maybe, you're that person. Maybe you feel your balance slipping. Your reactions aren't as quick. Your energy isn't what it used to be. You look in the mirror and wonder, is this just what aging feels like now? It's hard. And let's be honest, sometimes it's scary. Because no one prepares us for this part. We're taught how to grow up. How to build a life. But no one teaches us how to age well, with strength, with dignity, with hope. And the truth is, most people don't even know what to look for. We dismiss the signs. We call it normal. We wait too long. But here's the shift I want to invite you to make. Instead of fearing aging, what if we started preparing for it? Actively. Not just with medications or appointments. But with small, intentional habits that can change everything. Because these 5 abilities, they're more than just physical checkboxes. They are signs, vital signs, of how well your body and mind are adapting as you grow older. And the beauty of it all? You can test them. Right now. No equipment. No complicated instructions. Can you balance on one leg for 10 seconds? How fast can you respond to a small challenge, a toss, a word, a thought? Can you rise from the floor with confidence? Do you remember those 3 words from earlier? Apple. River. Candle. And most importantly, do you want to get out of bed tomorrow morning, not because you have to, but because something excites you? Try them. Test yourself. Or do it together with someone you love. You might be surprised at what you find. Not just where you're strong, but where there's room to grow. Because even if you struggle with one, or all 5, of these, that does not mean the journey ends here. It means the journey is still unfolding. And you're invited to participate in it, fully, joyfully, and wisely. You are not stuck. No matter your age, improvement is always possible. You can train your balance. You can sharpen your mind. You can build back strength, regain mobility, renew energy, and rediscover joy. Age doesn't define ability. Your effort does. Your choices do. And those choices can start today, right now. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are becoming, still. You are learning. You are adapting. You are growing, even here, even now. So, take a deep breath. Feel your heart beating. And remember this, there is still so much life in you. So much power. So much potential. And if you've held on to even one of these 5 abilities, you're not just doing well. You're aging in reverse. And that's something to be proud of. Let's take a moment to look back at what we've explored together today. Balance. Reflexes. Mobility. Memory. Energy. These 5 simple abilities may not seem like much at first glance. But they hold incredible power. Most 80-year-olds struggle with one or more of these. But if you can still do them, if you can stand on one leg for 10 seconds, react quickly to something unexpected, get up off the floor without needing your hands, recall a few random words after a short delay, or wake up feeling excited for the day ahead, then you, my friend, might be aging in reverse. And that's not an exaggeration. That's a sign that your body, your mind, and your spirit are still fighting for strength, still growing, still capable. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these 5 did you find the easiest? And which one challenged you the most? Was it the balance? The memory? Let's talk about it down in the comments, because your story could inspire someone else right now. Someone who's struggling. Someone who thinks it's too late. And if this video helped you reflect, if it sparked something inside you, maybe a little hope, maybe a little curiosity, then I invite you to subscribe to Elderly Wisdom Guide. This is more than just a YouTube channel. It's a community. A place where aging isn't feared, it's understood. Where challenges are met with tools, support, and heart. Where we grow stronger, not just in body, but in wisdom and connection. Every day, we bring you thoughtful, practical, and heartfelt videos like this one. Because you, and the people you love, deserve to live the years ahead with confidence, clarity, and joy. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a like if this message spoke to you. And join us, because the journey is just getting started. And now, before we go, take this in: you are not behind. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You're still here. Still learning. Still moving. Still surprising yourself. And that is a beautiful thing. So, until next time, stay curious, stay active, and stay kind to yourself. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We're honored to be part of your journey. And as always, this is Elderly Wisdom Guide. We'll see you in the next video.